Hi, my name is Jonathan Cohen, Regional Sustainability Coordinator for the City of Boulder. In recent years, Boulder has focused considerable time and resources on reducing energy consumption through energy efficiency and conservation programs. These efforts are a critical part of reaching our community's climate action goals. However, we know that those measures alone will not achieve our goals for a significant reduction in our community's carbon footprint and a reliable, affordable, and clean energy future. There is growing recognition that our current energy system is unsustainable. Our communities are moving to the end of a fossil fuel era and must be prepared for the challenges and opportunities of a new era of clean energy generation. The challenge for Boulder is to move as quickly as possible toward a clean energy future in a manner that is technically and financially feasible, dramatically reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, while also promoting our physical and economic health and well-being. The Boulder community needs and uses energy, but few of us really consider how important it is or the impacts of our consumption. Boulder's relationship with our energy provider, Xcel Energy, will be a critical component of a long-term energy strategy that looks at opportunities to develop cleaner sources of energy. For several decades, our relationship with Xcel Energy has been governed in part by the terms of a successive franchise agreement between the parties. A franchise is a special right or privilege granted by a government to an individual or corporation. In the case of its franchise with Xcel, the city has granted the utility the right to use our streets, alleys, rights-of-way, and other public property for the purpose of providing service to electric and natural gas customers within the city. The city's current franchise agreement with Xcel will expire in August of this year. However, Xcel Energy has agreed to a temporary extension until December 31st to allow more time for the city to negotiate with the company and for Boulder voters to determine their preferred energy path. The city is pursuing its energy objectives through a variety of means. Only one of those is the franchise negotiating process. Nevertheless, as we focus on the role of the franchise agreement in our energy future, Boulder faces two important questions. How far can Boulder get as a community toward our clean energy goals, either within or outside of a franchise agreement with Xcel? And how should Boulder value the trade-offs between the potential benefits and risks of having and not having a franchise agreement in the context of the community's energy goals? As City Council wrestles with the answers to these questions, several options have emerged. The first option is to put forth a new franchise agreement for consideration by voters to renew our community's relationship with Xcel for a 20-year term with the opportunity to opt out of the franchise at 10 and 15 years in the event the city chooses to purchase the electric distribution system in the city. Signing a new franchise agreement would provide for continuation of the franchise fee, the 1% undergrounding fee, and other benefits. A franchise fee is a payment for the use of the city's streets and rights-of-way. Under the franchise agreement with Xcel, the city receives a yearly payment of approximately $3.9 million that goes to the city's general fund. This payment, or franchise fee, is passed on to Xcel Boulder-based customers and appears as a separate charge on your bill. The money is used to pay for city services such as police, fire, and public works. The franchise agreement also gives the city access to a 1% undergrounding fund for infrastructure projects and the right to post signs and fiber optics equipment on Xcel poles free of charge. A new franchise agreement would preserve these benefits. The second option is to allow the franchise agreement with Xcel to expire and to develop an alternative system of managing the company's operations in the city. This option would terminate the city's contractual relationship with Xcel while the city explores ways to bring about the legal changes necessary to develop relationships with alternative energy providers, either through a process of municipalization, in which the community would purchase Xcel's assets in the city area and subsequently own and operate its electrical utility, or through an alternative arrangement that some people refer to as community choice aggregation, in which Xcel would continue to operate the local distribution system, but the city would purchase its energy from other energy providers. Either of these options will require considerable effort by the city, and the second option would also require changes in state law. Under this option, Xcel would have both the right and the legal obligation to continue to provide natural gas and electricity to its customers in Boulder. Residents would continue to pay Xcel for its services just as they always have. However, the franchise fee would no longer appear on your Xcel bill, and the city would lose the resulting $3.9 million to the general fund. For this reason, pursuit of option 2 would also include asking Boulder voters to approve an alternative tax on the company's operations in Boulder in the form of either an occupation tax or excise tax. Like the franchise fee, this cost on the company would be passed on to Boulder ratepayers. However, unlike the franchise fee, it would fall into the category of a local tax and therefore require voter approval. The city's negotiating team has been working with Xcel Energy for nearly 2 years on the franchise. The city has also been working on specific side agreements that support Boulder's energy goals, such as issues related to the Valmont power plant, the sharing of customer data that would allow the city to measure changes in customer usage of energy, rebate programs related to conservation and energy efficient improvements, and the possibility of aggregate purchasing options. Recent discussions have also focused on a partnership with the company to co-develop a clean energy plan that would detail a strategic roadmap to a decarbonized energy supply. No decision has been made about whether to bring a proposed franchise agreement to the voters. On June 1st, Council passed an ordinance that would allow a franchise agreement to be included on the November 2nd ballot. This is not an indication that an agreement has been reached, nor that Council has committed to putting that option on the ballot. It was a procedural step necessary to keep all possibilities on the table. Pursuant to City Council direction, City staff continues to work with Xcel to explore alternatives and is committed to include the public in the process. Under the City Charter, the Council must decide by mid-August which of these options to include on the ballot. Possibilities include a franchise agreement, an occupation tax, or both. Council's next discussion about the franchise will be on July 13th at 6 p.m. Prior to July 13th, the City will hold a series of public meetings and conduct a community survey to inform Council's discussion. The City appreciates all of your feedback and encourages you to learn more about this exciting and important issue by going to www.bouldercolorado.gov/energyfuture.